Christmas Eve, 1818. In a tiny Austrian village of Oberndorf is buried under fresh snow. In the small church of St. Nicholas, Father Joseph Mohr faces every minister's nightmare. It's hours before midnight mass, and the organ has completely broken down. The church mice have chewed through the leather bellows, rendering the instrument completely silent. For weeks, the organ had been making strange, wheezing sounds. Now, on the holiest night of the year, it sits as silent as a tomb. In a few hours, Mohr must lead his congregation in Christmas worship, and in Catholic tradition, Mass without music was almost unthinkable. Desperate, the young priest makes a decision that will change Christmas forever. Joseph Mohr was not your typical priest. Born out of wedlock to a seamstress, he had fought for every opportunity in life. His path to the priesthood was unconventional, marked by a deep love for common people and a gift for poetry. Unlike many clergy of his era who wrote in Latin, Mohr composed in German, the language of the people. These had been hard years for Austria. The 1815 eruption of Mount Tambora in Indonesia had caused crop failures worldwide. 1816 was called the year without a summer. Families were hungry, times were desperate, and people needed hope more than fancy liturgy. Franz Gruber lived just across the river in the village of Arnsdorf, where he served as schoolmaster, church organist, and choir director. Unlike Mohr's dramatic background, Gruber was the son of a weaver, practical, methodical, and deeply musical. The two men had become close friends despite their different temperaments. That snowy Christmas Eve, Mohr hurried through the deep snow to Gruber's modest home, carrying with him a poem he had written 2 years earlier after a peaceful evening walk through the countryside. 2 years earlier, in 1816, Mohr had taken a solitary evening walk after visiting a newborn baby in a poor family's home. The night was crystal clear, stars were brilliant overhead, and fresh snow blanketed the Salzach Valley. Something about that silent, holy evening moved him deeply. Returning to his modest quarters, Mohr had penned 6 stanzas of a poem he called Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht, Silent Night, Holy Night. It was not a sophisticated theology or complex poetry. It was simple, gentle, like a mother's lullaby to her child. The poem captured something profound about the Christmas story, the quiet majesty of God entering our world not with fanfare, but in the humble vulnerability of a newborn baby. Mohr understood what Luke, the physician, recorded, that the night Christ was born was indeed silent and holy. No royal proclamations, no temple ceremonies, no elaborate rituals, just a young mother, her carpenter husband, and the Son of God sleeping peacefully in a manger. When Mohr arrived at Gruber's door that Christmas Eve with his poem and his desperate request, Gruber's first reaction was skeptical. Christmas Eve Mass was sacred tradition. You didn't just improvise with a guitar like some tavern entertainer. But Mohr was persistent, and something about the poem's gentle beauty moved Gruber's musician's heart. Working by the flickering light of candles, Gruber composed a simple melody with the rhythm of a lullaby. He wrote it for 2 voices and guitar accompaniment, something they could perform together. The melody was so natural, so fitting to the words, that it seemed like the poem had been waiting for this music all along. For the next few hours, the priest and the schoolmaster practiced their hastily created song. Mohr would sing the verses, Gruber would join in harmony, and both would unite on the refrain, "Sleep in heavenly peace." They had no idea they were rehearsing what would become the world's most beloved Christmas carol. As midnight approached, the congregation of St. Nicholas Church filled their simple pews. These were not wealthy city dwellers, but farmers, merchants, and craftspeople, hard-working people who had endured difficult years. The absence of the organ was immediately noticed, and whispers filled the sanctuary. Then Father Mohr stepped forward with his guitar. In an era when innovation in worship was rare and often unwelcome, this was a bold move. But as the first gentle notes filled the church, and Mohr's voice began Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht. Something magical happened. The congregation was enchanted. This wasn't the grand, formal music they were accustomed to. It was intimate, tender, accessible. Even the children understood every word. The gentle melody seemed to carry the very spirit of that first Christmas night when heaven touched earth in a humble stable. A few weeks later, organ builder Karl Mohr came to Oberndorf to repair the church organ. When it was fixed, he asked Franz Gruber to try it out. Gruber played the melody he had written for Mohr's poem, and Mohr was so impressed that he took copies of the song back to his village, Kapfing. There, two famous singing families, the Rainers and the Strassers, heard Silent Night and loved it so much that they began performing it at Christmas. It's a reminder that the most profound peace and joy don't come from perfect circumstances, but from a simple, heartfelt hope in the midst of imperfection. By the 1830s, Silent Night was being sung across German-speaking Europe. Missionaries carried it to other continents. It was translated into dozens, then hundreds of languages. What began as a Christmas Eve emergency became the most widely sung Christmas song in human history. But perhaps its most powerful moment came during World War I. On Christmas Eve, 1914, German and British soldiers laid down their weapons in the trenches of the Western Front. From across the battlefield, they began singing carols. One song rose above the cold night air, Stille Nacht. Soon, enemies joined in harmony, united not by politics or power, but by the birth of Christ. For one night, this carol brought peace where war raged. From that broken organ in a tiny Austrian village has flowed nearly 2 centuries of Christmas worship. The song has been sung in igloos and cathedrals, in mud huts and concert halls, in over 300 languages and dialects. Here's what moves me most about this story. Mohr didn't write Silent Night in a church or during the Christmas season. Instead, its words flowed from a quiet evening walk, simply watching God's creation under starlight. And when crisis hit that Christmas Eve, his moment of peaceful inspiration became the world's comfort. It makes me wonder about our own lives. Your broken organ isn't a 200-year-old instrument. Your broken organ is the diagnosis you didn't see coming, the job loss that shattered your stability, the dream that feels like it's died. We see these as disasters, as the end of our plans. But what if we're wrong? What if these interruptions are actually God saying, "I'm not done yet"? You don't need December to find a silent night. Peace is waiting every evening, every season, every moment you choose to listen for heaven's whisper in your world. You just need a moment of stillness, a listening heart, and the courage to believe that even in the brokenness, all is calm, all is bright, and it is well. Step outside. Walk slowly. Look up. Let the stars remind you, the same God who gave us Christmas is still writing beautiful stories through broken places. In a world that's noisy, anxious, and restless, this hymn calls us back. To silence, to wonder, to the baby whose first cradle was a feeding box and whose birth changed everything. This story proves that sometimes the most beautiful things are born from our broken plans. If you need peace, if you're weary, broken, or just longing for hope, remember, the light was born in a silent night, and he still shines today. If this story of peace in a crisis inspired you, sing it. Share this video with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe for more stories behind the hymns that move us. And comment Silent Night. Let's spread peace together. God bless you.